Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. And just when you thought the party was over, Bitcoin decides to surprise us yet again, guys. I've got Bitcoin up here on the hourly, and right now it's trading just shy of $39,000. It's actually just about $39,000. We can see over yesterday, Bitcoin did come up against this trend line that I've been posting on the Bitcoin chart here. Let me throw it on the daily. You can see it a little better. That trend line, Bitcoin has now found its support, and so it's looking as though buyers are buying up or were buying up at this price level here, which is in and around $37,000. So as I'd mentioned, right now Bitcoin's trading at about $39,000. We did see a bit of a spike in price for XRP as well. So again, this is the XRP chart on the hourly, and now XRP trading at 62 cents. We were getting very, very low down here, hovering around the 59, 60 cent range. But the confidence in Bitcoin now is really what is getting the pep in the rest of the crypto markets step. So you can see Bitcoin's up 1.5% over the last 24 hours. We've got altcoins up as well in relatively same percentage ranges, like Ethereum up 1.2. We got BNB coin up 1.23. Luna's up 3.3. XRP is up 0.5. Solana's up 1.3. So you can see, the rest of the crypto market again in step with what Bitcoin is doing. So to me, this just looks like a typical move. Bitcoin moves to the upside, altcoins follow. Nothing really to suggest that we are seeing an altcoin rally necessarily. The important thing though, and if I bring the Bitcoin chart back here, is that we are staying above this trend line, something that many of us have been paying attention to. Breaking down lower would suggest a bear market, and I know even some of us are wondering, is Bitcoin going to get up to that 0.702 at some point? And at that point, theoretically, what that indicates is an altcoin season or an altcoin rally to follow. So we still haven't seen this. Bitcoin has just been grinding up and down and up and down. Again, I'm of the opinion that this is an accumulation phase and this is not the top of the market, similar to what we saw back in 2017, but you guys know that already. I think we're accumulating before a new high for Bitcoin. That's just my personal opinion, not financial advice by any means. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. The SEC dropped a bomb, and I did a video, breaking news, yesterday. If you guys didn't catch it, I'm sure you're catching it today on Twitter. I'll link that video up here on the top right-hand corner. It wasn't a very long video. I think it ended up being about 11 minutes, just over 11 minutes. But now I'm noticing many in the crypto space and even politicians are speaking out on this. I wonder how many taxpayer dollars are being wasted in Gary Gensler's personal crusade against the crypto industry. So Fire Euphoria down here saying, talk is cheap, sir. Rein this man in. Jeff saying, agreed. The talk gets old. We need to see some action here. And Massimo here saying, that's okay. The SEC will extort more money with their bogus enforcements, with murky regulations in the name of investor protection. It's not just personal, though, is it, Tom? This coming from Paulino. It's about his buddies on Wall Street, too. So there's that as well. Gary Gensler trying to protect his banker friends and his Wall Street pals, and his brother, who is a top banking executive at TD Ameritrade. Yeah, his identical twin brother. There's two of them, I know. Tipsy Tiger down here saying the irony is U.S. citizens got screwed over the SEC Ripple case, and now they are getting screwed again by additional wage rule to the SEC in taxes. Kind of like a protection racket. Smashes your shop up first, then you pay protection. This is bat crap crazy. And it is. Warren Davidson also putting in his 2 cents. It seems Gary Gensler is testing the labor theory of value at the SEC. The more labor, the more value created? Nope. It's a fallacy in economics and in regulation. We need one simple set of rules and apply them all equally. Then enforcement will finally be efficient and fair. Michael at Val5Links also brought this article to our attention with regards to Hester Peirce's opinion on this. She's knocking the SEC's plans to add to crypto enforcement staff. Boy, I'm surprised Hester Peirce has not been fired yet, considering how critical she has been of her own agency, of her own employer. So SEC member Hester Peirce took to Twitter on Tuesday to voice her opposition to the additional 20 new jobs on the regulatory agency's crypto enforcement squad. Here's a quote. The SEC is a regulatory agency with an enforcement division, not an enforcement agency, she tweeted on Tuesday afternoon. Why are we leading with enforcement in crypto? Earlier on Tuesday, the SEC announced plans to increase the headcount in its newly named Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit, which was previously known as the Cyber Unit, to 50 from the current 30. The agency described that unit, which resides in the Division of Enforcement, as being responsible for protecting investors in crypto markets and from cyber-related threats. So a lot of criticism here coming out of, these are politicians here, obviously. Hester Peirce specifically works for the SEC, but Warren Davidson, a congressman, and Tom Emmer, also a congressman for Minnesota. Interesting. Because this is all part and parcel too, guys, to what is going on with the XRP lawsuit. Now, we know the SEC has had their trials and tribulations, and I feel like it's almost as if they were using Ripple as that test run. They probably should have been better prepared. They weren't. They underestimated Ripple's power. But at the same time, they probably thought, okay, well, we got to go after the big fish if we really want to make a difference. So fast forward a year and a quarter, or however long it's been. It's been about December, January, February, March, April, a year and 4 months, 5 months. Sorry, it's May now, all of a sudden. So just over a year and 4 months, and the SEC is probably realizing at this point in time that we're not going to win this. So now we have delay tactics. You know, some people are criticizing the SEC for saying, well, look, you guys are the ones who brought on the case, and now you're continuing to delay. Some are suggesting that, you know what, their plan is falling apart, their case has no legs to stand on. Also, I'm sure they did not account for the XRP community, the Twitter sleuths, excellent Twitter sleuths, including but not limited to Tag XRP, Stéphane Hubert, just to name a couple, and I know there are many, many others, uncovering more shadiness going on at the SEC. And so now, fast forward to today, and their case isn't looking as good as they originally thought. So here's the update. Ripple kicks against the SEC's incessant delay tactics in a new motion. So Ripple's lawyer, Matt Solomon, he has now spoken out. And you know what? Maybe I should just go to the original tweet here from James K. Filan, XRP Community SEC Gov versus Ripple XRP. Solomon has now come out swinging in opposition to the SEC's request to file a reply brief. The SEC requests leave to file what they term as a reply, but this would be at least the SEC's sixth filing in opposition to the defendant's motion to compel. So guys, this is the latest, which just came out yesterday, May the 3rd. We write on behalf of Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson, and Ripple Labs. This is from the defendants, obviously, to oppose the SEC's request to file an additional brief in support of its assertion that internal documents related to a speech given by former SEC official are protected from disclosure by the attorney-client privilege. So this goes back to attorney-client privilege argument. The SEC requests leave to file what they term a reply, but in fact, this would be at least the SEC's sixth filing, in italics, in opposition to defendant's August 10th, 2021 motion to compel. It is therefore at best a surreply. The SEC's request to file such a surreply unsupported by any justification and before even seeing defendants' response to their latest filings is both inappropriate and premature. Wow. I'm skipping over all these citings, by the way. Denying plaintiff's request to file a surreply where plaintiff failed to show good cause and failed to establish that defendants raised a new issue for the first time on reply, as the decision to grant a surreply is left to the sound discretion of the court. Since defendants filed this motion to compel nearly 9 months ago, ECF number 289, the court has twice overruled the SEC's improper deliberative privilege process objections. Notwithstanding that and the close of fact and expert discovery, the SEC continues to withhold all documents relating to the former SEC's official June 2018 speech. The SEC now claims, in effect, that the last year of briefing, oral argument, and court's decision and their motion for reconsideration were all an academic exercise. Are you kidding me? Because it turns out that the documents, every single one of them, are actually privileged attorney-client communications. So it just keeps getting more absurd and absurd by the day. James K. Filan here mentioning, the SEC now claims that the last year of briefing, oral arguments, and court's decision and their motion for reconsideration were all an academic exercise. Yeah, he picked up on that too, and not actually privileged attorney-client communications. So the XRP community lawyer is obviously picking up on this and realizing that it is hogwash. Fred Rispoli, though, has a bit of a different point of view here. Loves Solomon's fire, but not sure he's technically correct here. Though this is the 6th or 7th iteration in this ridiculous saga, and my memory is hazy, the SEC did properly raise the AC issue, and NetBurn did permit the SEC to renew AC privilege or attorney-client privilege if she found DPP applied. And then he posts this from back in January of 2022. To clarify, I do not think any of the SEC's attorney-client privilege assertions are appropriate or will win the day, but I do think the SEC is allowed to argue/re-argue them at this point. So an interesting point there, obviously, to play devil's advocate. Jeremy Hogan obviously chiming in as well. Finally, I feel like Ripple has taken the gloves off and is talking about how ridiculous the SEC's litigation tactics surrounding the Hinman emails are. The judge may still allow the SIR reply, but at least Ripple is calling out the delay tactics strongly. And so he's just pointing this out. Part of the letter that I already read to you, the italics here, the 6th filing in opposition to defendants' August 10th, 2021 motion to compel. So I don't have to read that over, but I will link this in the description for you guys. XRP Crypto Wolf saying, why would any judge allow the SEC to delay the XRP lawsuit this much when they are the ones who sued Ripple? And this is what I asked at the top of the video. And the only answer I can really think of is that they thought they had a case, way back in December of 2020. They took off a bigger bite than they could chew, and now they're finding strategies, albeit weak strategies, to delay, to try to figure out how they're going to win, when they realize, though, already the writing is on the wall and they probably aren't going to win. So delay tactics, right? Now they're in a defensive position. They realize they can't win, so now they're throwing everything at it to try to do their best possible, maybe to come up with the best terms for settlement. So, we're going to talk a little bit about settlement and how that is a more likely option than ever at this point in time. Golden Key down here also saying this, did somebody say the gloves were off? Bringing us back to this original Christmas Bearable Guy riddle. Remember when the knight's gloves came off? Yeah. So a lot to go over here. Some great perspective from Jeremy Hogan. We also got John Deaton's perspective here. Remember my prediction of an exchange being sued by the end of the summer. So shifting gears a little bit, back to what we were talking about earlier with Gary Gensler's plan to add more resources to the SEC for cryptocurrency enforcement. I never read this tweet, but today we announced that we're bolstering the unit responsible for protecting investors in crypto markets and from cyber-related threats. The newly renamed Crypto Assets and Cyber Unit in the Division of Enforcement will grow to 50 dedicated positions. Or maybe I did read that, but I guess I just forgot. So John Deaton here going back to that prediction. Somebody's going to get sued this summer, an exchange perhaps, and maybe this is why the SEC now shifting gears, realizing, look, this case is almost done, the writing is on the wall, and we are not going to win. So now we've got to pivot. If we want to maintain our turf, because this is a turf war, remember, if we want to maintain our turf, we have to pivot, and we have to kind of change our strategy a bit. And so could this be why Gary Gensler is now adding all these new resources to attack crypto by enforcement, which, again, people like Hester Peirce are criticizing. So Tim down here saying, you just called it like you see it. Anyone could see it from a mile away. No one is safe with Gary Gensler in charge. We all need to band together for everyone's future with crypto. I could not agree more. And Bill here, Bill Asarius 2020, also putting in his 2 cents. I do not accept the view that the agitation of the attorney-client privilege by the SEC is now a reconsideration of the reconsideration. This is incorrect. The initial motion of Ripple to compel production of documents is being further litigated because the SEC's objections to the motion simply has not been fully dealt with. In effect, Ripple's motion was only part heard because not all the objections were decided upon. Only the DPP objections were adjudicated. It was the decision that was subject to reconsideration. What the SEC is seeking right now as the next step is not a further reconsideration of that failed DPP objection, but that the part of its objections not dealt with will be decided. Why it was not decided together with DPP is unfortunate, but partly at least of Ripple's own making. Ripple was aware when it filed its August 10th, 2021 letter that the SEC was objecting via its privilege logs on grounds of DPP and attorney-client privilege, specifically in respect of the speech documents. And he's posting here all kinds of supporting evidence to illustrate his points. Yet, it decided to emphasize In the motion, the SEC's DPP objection, Ripple sought a finding that the SEC could not invoke DPP over documents, including the speech documents. Despite this, Ripple did refer to the SEC's attorney-client privilege objections in the letter, but it seems it recognized that the SEC needed to be required to substantiate its claim before it could be dealt with. But the SEC wasn't required at the time to do so. In fact, that is exactly what it is doing now. In its letter of objection dated August 17, 2021, the SEC again made it clear, as in its privilege log, that it was objecting on the grounds of attorney-client privilege. Despite this, Ripple continued to emphasize the SEC's DPP objection in its reply dated August 23rd and did not further mention the attorney-client privilege. So a bit of a different perspective here. Bill continuing by saying, this resulted in attorney-client privilege objection not being dealt with in the 13th of January decision, something the judge brought to both parties' attention in footnotes in this decision and in her April 11th decision, which brings us to where we are today, dealing with attorney-client privilege now in what remains a partly heard motion for production of documents, not a reconsideration of the reconsideration. In light of this, I do not think the submission made by Ripple yesterday that the SEC now claims in effect that the last year of briefing oral arguments, the decisions that were all an academic exercise, are actually privileged attorney-client communications. There is no now claim about it. The SEC made the attorney-client objection last August, and it should have been dealt with together with the DPP objection. So, Bill is suggesting here that, it's not actually that out of line and that it should have been dealt with before. Fortunately, Judge Netburn was aware that the SEC's objections were only part heard. Imagine if her previous two decisions ordering the documents be produced had gone on appeal without some of the SEC's objections being ruled upon. And FibTruth XRP down here saying, clarity of thought, Bill. I wish you were wrong, but your argument seems imminently logical to me. Damn it. Thanks again. So, guys, perspective here. We got to look at both sides of the coin. This is why we've got the lawyers in the space, because Bill Belisarius 2020 is also a lawyer that's been chiming in every so often. So got to thank him. Thanks to John Deaton, Jeremy Hogan as well, and James K. Filan always for bringing us the latest updates on the case. XRP LeBroccoli here also bringing this up. So this brings me to another point that I wanted to talk about. This is interesting. Ripple is moving their headquarters. The something. Retweeting out a screen grab here from Fojack's tweet. Interesting to note the position in regards to the Transamerica Triangle. HQ, or headquarters, before on the left, and the new headquarters is on the right. So for those of you guys who did not know, Ripple is relocating, and their headquarters is now going to be at 600 Battery. They have relocated to an entire building. They are leasing an entire building in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so this reminds Fojack of this Bearable Guy tweet, nothing happens until something moves. We were thinking the markets, we were thinking perhaps a lawsuit or some kind of dramatic move that would shake the cryptocurrency industry and therefore boost XRP price. Well, now the Ripple headquarters has moved, and I know it seems insignificant. People move business locations all the time. But take into consideration who this company is, what they've been through, and what this could mean for the future. So Micah XRP here also posting this. What does your gut tell you about these things? And I've thought the same. 1, Ripple is revamping their website. So first of all, as I've mentioned in previous videos that I've done a few videos ago about the revamping of Ripple's website. If you take a look at the website now, it is more cryptocurrency centric than it ever has been. There was a point in time where Ripple wanted to distance themselves from the XRP cryptocurrency, and now they are focusing on it front and center. So that shows you something. The sentiment for crypto is becoming warmer. We know that 95% of their business is outside of the US, so that might have something to do with it. But at the same time, the tides are turning. Cryptocurrency is becoming more widely accepted by many different financial institutions, governments around the world. So now they're focusing on, and they're saying, look, now all our products are going to be making transactions, sourcing on-demand liquidity through XRP. So there's that. The second thing, as I just mentioned, Ripple is now moving to a new headquarters. And 3, the SEC is now hiring a crap ton of people. So we've got the headquarters piece as well. Crypto company Ripple locating its HQ. What kind of company locates their headquarters if they weren't certain of cryptocurrency clarity in the United States? I know that question has probably circled around your mind once or twice. It just doesn't make sense. And then finally, the SEC hiring a crap ton of people, as I highlighted in yesterday afternoon's video. Do they see the writing is on the wall? And are they now trying to compensate? So all things considered, I think settlement is already agreed on, and the SEC is gearing up to now go after exchanges. You, the XRP community, Micah here, I think he is on to something. I think you make a sound argument, says Brown and White. Why would Ripple dump money into real estate if there was uncertainty and doom? Bordeaux X here saying, you wish. Hard truth is, until the SEC back down to a settlement, that includes XRP, not a security. We are not out of the woods until 2023. Most likely 2023, the SEC could also drop the case and refill a new lawsuit from scratch. Yes, they could, so a bit of a more pessimistic view on that. I don't necessarily agree with everything he's saying there, but I do get where he's coming from. I do get some of his points. The Node Runner here saying, I also think the SEC have used this court case as a learning curve. Yes, that right there, going against a real challenging company so that they can be forewarned of any future arguments in court, get as much experience as possible before they pursue the exchanges, as you mentioned. So they came up against Ripple, bit off more than they could chew. Now the writing is on the wall and they have to pivot. Ripple is feeling as confident as ever, going to get clarity in the US. The SEC continuing with their delay tactics, I think, is a sure sign of that. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.